Blue strobes, booted shift lever, and the low thump of a diesel single. These aren't showroom queens. Tonight we count down 6 motorcycles that kept law and order and won wars. From the World War II Harley WLA that bounced across Europe, to the diesel-burning KLR that runs on jet fuel, to the classic Kawasaki KZ 1000P every speeder feared, and the modern patrol trio Honda ST 1300P, Yamaha FJR 1300P, and BMW R1250RTP that still own the fast lane. We rank them on reliability, duty cycle abuse, parts support, and field fixability. Stay to see which machine takes the top badge and why. BMW R1250RTP, blue lights in the mirrors. The brief is simple. Start now, run hard, carry everything. This is BMW's R1250RTP, the authority version of the RT, built around a 1,254 cubic centimeter shift cam boxer, making 100 kilowatts, 136 horsepower at 7,750 revolutions per minute, and 143 newton meters at 6,250 revolutions per minute. Power with manners, range, and uptime wind shifts. A 24-liter tank keeps it on scene, while a 560-watt alternator feeds radios, lights, radar, and heated gear without flinching. The chassis is calm under pressure. Long day ergonomics, weather protection, and an authority package pre-wired for duty equipment, including a dedicated body controller and auxiliary battery circuits. Numbers that matter in uniform: curb weight approximately 281 kilograms without agency add-ons. For motorway stability, adjustable seat heights 780 to 860 millimeters, so different riders can hop on and go. And because calls don't wait, the driveline is built for durability. 6-speed with shaft final drive and big miles service intervals riders trust. The civilian RT's figures carry over. The P adds wiring, protection, and control hardware. Why it became an icon? Because it's an all-rounder for real police work. Highway patrol, city escorts, incident response. It idles for hours, then sprints. It powers everything and still has brakes, wind protection, and composure to keep officers fresh late in the shift. That's why fleets keep ordering them, and why riders who've worked one rarely forget the feel. Harley Davidson WLA Liberator. Production began in 1940. Olive drab paint, blackout lights, rifle scabbard on the fork. The WLA was a purpose-built tool for a world at war. Under the tank, a 45.1 cubic inch, 739 cubic centimeter, side valve V-twin with a low 5.0 to 1 compression ratio, engineered to run on rough fuel and keep it cool. You start it with a kick, settle into a steady thrum, and work a 3-speed hand shift with a foot clutch. Up front, a Springer fork. Out back, a rigid frame with a sprung saddle. It's not plush, it's predictable. Numbers tell its character. Wheelbase 57.5 inches, vehicle weight about 540 pounds, without rider or armament. Drum brakes front and rear, and 4.00 by 18 tires to roll through mud and rubble. The fuel tank holds about 3.4 US gallons. The electrics are 6 volt, and on a clear road, the WLA will muster approximately 59 miles per hour. Enough for convoy pace, not heroics. What made it an icon wasn't speed, it was service. Military police escorts, dispatch riders carrying orders when radios couldn't. From training fields in the States to convoy lanes in North Africa and supply routes handed to allies under Lend-Lease, the WLA earned trust by being simple to keep alive. An oil bath air cleaner for dust, tool-friendly access, and parts you could swap roadside. The war ended, but the job didn't. Production resumed after 1948 for a time, the bike returning to uniform. Ask veterans what they remember, and they'll say the same thing. It started, it steered steady, and it got the message through. That's how a workhorse becomes a legend. Honda ST 1300P, Pan-European. Police deliveries began in 2002. Blue lights reflect off wet tarmac. The brief is simple. Start now, run hard, carry everything. This is Honda's ST 1300P, built on a 1,261 cubic centimeter, liquid-cooled V4 with a 5-speed gearbox and a shaft drive that eats miles without complaint. The electrics are mission-ready. a high-output 660-watt alternator to feed radios, lights, radar, and heated gear. Under the bodywork sits a dual-section fuel tank, 7.7 gallons total, with 5.5 gallons up top and 2.2 gallons held low in a sub-tank, keeping the mass calm when the siren comes on. Brakes, dual 310mm front discs and a 316mm rear, with combined ABS to turn panic into precision. The chassis feels planted, because it is. Wheelbase 58.7 inches, seat 31.1 inches, adjustable, and a dry weight about 743 pounds before the duty gear goes on. Push a button and the electric windscreen climbs. The 3-position solo seat locks in. The panniers swallow paperwork and kit. Why did it earn the badge? Because it does both ends of the shift. It idles for hours at an incident without starving the battery, then sprints for a pursuit without flinching. It's the quiet kind of capable, V4 smoothness, long range, real weather protection that lets an officer finish a long day sharp. That's how a sport tourer became a patrol standard. The Hayes Diesel KLR 650M1030M1. Some bikes chase horsepower. This one chased logistics. A call comes in, the road turns to sand, and fuel is whatever the convoy brought. You thumb the switch and the diesel single answers. Steady, certain. This is the M1030M1, a Kawasaki KLR rebuilt for the battlefield to burn JP8/diesel. Production began in 2006, after early deliveries proved the concept, and the brief was simple. One fuel for the entire force, range first, failure last. Under drab panels sits a 611 cubic centimeter 4-stroke single and a 5-speed box, tuned for torque and endurance. Output is modest, about 30 horsepower. But that's the point. At a steady cruise, it returns around 96 miles per gallon, and with military tanks, it stretches 400+ miles between fills. It idles on scene, crawls where trucks bog down, and wades 2 feet of water without drama. You see why patrols trusted it. Blackout lighting, deep gearing, field-fixable parts. The job wasn't speed, it was certainty. Start, run, return, on the same fuel as the rest of the convoy. Weak points, weight and limited top speed, and today, scarce spares. But on mission, the diesel KLR did exactly what it was built to do. Keep moving when everything else can't. Kawasaki KZ 1000P, police special. Production began in 1982. White fairing in the mirrors, floorboards low, crash bars wide. The silhouette every speeder learned to respect. Under the fiberglass sits an air-cooled 998 cubic centimeter DOHC inline 4 breathing through 4 Mikuni BS 34 carburetors. It's old school on purpose. 5-speed box, chain final, and a heavy-duty steel frame that keeps its line when the siren's on. The numbers are pure duty, dry weight about 270 kilograms, seat height 780 millimeters, wheelbase 1,535 millimeters, and a 15-liter tank for long patrol shifts. Controls are built for the job: heel-toe rocker shifter, pursuit light switch, and a floating radio carrier out back so the load doesn't upset high-speed stability. The engine's manners made it a fleet favorite: square-shouldered torque, reliable cooling fins, and simple service access. Carb sync, valve checks, chain, repeat, and it keeps its beat. Tires and brakes were chosen for predictable feel and straight-line stability. On the scales, it's no featherweight, but that mass pays you back in calm on the freeway. Where did it earn its reputation? In American patrol work, highway units, escorts, and city response, especially as a longtime mainstay with agencies like the California Highway Patrol. It idled at incidents, sprinted for pursuits, and soaked up thousands of stop-starts without complaint. It wasn't the newest tech, it was the right tech. Durable, readable, and field serviceable. That's why the KZ 1000P stayed in uniform for decades, and why so many still lead motorcades after the badge. Yamaha FJR 1300P, introduced for U.S. police service in 2018. Blue lights, wet asphalt, and a call that won't wait. The FJR 1300P was built for that moment. Fast, calm, and fully wired. Under the fairing is a 1,298 cubic centimeter DOHC inline 4 with ride-by-wire manners, making roughly 107.5 kilowatts at 8,000 revolutions per minute and 138 newton meters at 7,000 revolutions per minute. It feeds a 6-speed box and a shaft drive that shrugs off mileage. The 25-liter tank keeps it on scene. The 590-watt alternator keeps radios, lights, radar, and heated gear alive without dimming the dash. Chassis poise is the point. Dual 320mm front discs and a 282mm rear work with ABS/linked brakes for panic-to-precision control. Suspension is fully adjustable, the windscreen moves at the button, and the seat adjusts for shift-to-shift fit. On paper, it's substantial, curb around 289 kilograms. But on patrol, it feels planted, with a 1,550mm wheelbase and bodywork that parts the weather. Why did fleets adopt it? Because the FJR runs both ends of the duty cycle. It will idle at a closure, then rip to a pursuit. It carries full electronics, then thread traffic like a sport tourer. It's not just fast, it's dependable and uniform, with service intervals and parts support that keep officers working, not waiting. That's how a sport tourer became a patrol standard. 6 bikes, decades of service, V-twins that rumbled through mud, boxers that idled under flashing lights, and shaft drives that outran the radio. If you've patrolled or deployed on one, drop model, unit, years, and your highest verified mileage, we'll pin the biggest number. Hit subscribe if motorcycles that earn their legend keep you watching.